I'm going to talk really briefly through the data analysis practice project. Okay, so we're doing this practice project so that you build the skills that you need to do this on your own in the next module, because you're going to do it on your own with accounting in the next module. So in this one, you have 2 account choices, and you're just going to select one, and you're going to work with 1 account's worth of data. And you have to pick either the English and World Languages account or your own personal account. You will get a whole lot more choice in the next module. You will get more than 1 account in the next module. So like all of that is coming. We have to practice small and build the data collection, the hypothesis writing, the data analysis, the data graphing skills now here on a small scale so that we can do them on a larger scale in the next module, okay? So those of you who are gonna jump to, but you get to do it next. Practice small first. Okay, so pick either the English and World Languages account, and we are on Facebook and we're on Instagram, or pick your own account, and then you can pick any social that you want to as long as you have access to the data. Okay, so if we go through the chart, there are 3 parts to the assignment. So there's the data part, which includes writing your hypothesis, telling me what account you have chosen. So sorry, that should come first. What account have you chosen and why? And then what is your hypothesis? The research question is listed under step 2. So what is the most engaged with content, and what does that tell me about how web writing conveys ideas, what ideas are valued? You're gonna write a hypothesis, and then you're gonna collect data. You need to make sure to know when you collect the data and how long it takes you, and then use the data chart. Use the data chart that I provided, all of those columns. I highly recommend you use Excel or Google Sheets because they will they will do the heavy lifting of graphing for you, and I have a separate video on how to do that. So I would, from the very beginning, use either Excel or Google Sheets, your choice. Also note in the data chart, the overview of the genre of the post column and the notes column will be different for every single student. And those 2 columns should align with your hypothesis. What are you looking for in your hypothesis that's unique? Because each of you are going to have a different hypothesis. That's the whole point. What in these 2 columns is helping you answer that hypothesis? The other thing you need to note that's really, 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 really important, your hypothesis does not need to be correct. Your grade is not assigned based on whether your hypothesis is correct. Most of you will have an incorrect hypothesis for both this module and the next one, and that's fine. That is typical. I mean, that happens every single semester without fail because we have a lot of really incorrect assumptions about what we're doing on the internet, and so part of this is understanding what are people actually doing. And then it would be a whole different class to talk about like why do we have these assumptions. So beyond the scope of what we can do here, just know most of us understand incorrect things about social media, incorrect things about how the internet works. That's fine. Your goal here is to really align your hypothesis, your data chart, your data analysis, so that your data analysis answers your hypothesis, so that the data you've collected in your chart and what you do with it answers and shows whether your hypothesis was right or wrong. That is the goal of this project. That will again be the larger goal of the next project as well. So we're doing data-driven web writing analysis. Okay, so step 4, you're building the chart. Use the one that I have. You will have specifics to you in the overview of the genre. You will have specifics to you in the notes. And then step 5, and this is still all part 1, the data that you're submitting, is to do an audience analysis. You really, really, really need to think through the culture and do not just put a bunch of assumptions in here about who the followers of these accounts are. What is it that and focus less on age and demographics, which is the first one, and more on the ways of knowing and reading. What is going on these accounts? What is shared? What is valued? And why? Why is all of that there? So all of that will get submitted to me in the first part, and then I will provide feedback specifically on the alignment that I'm seeing or not seeing between your hypothesis, the information you have in your data chart, and then your audience analysis, because those pieces need to be aligned. Then part 2 of the project, I outlined the draft. This will look something like a traditional essay, but you're going to have multimodal pieces. There should be graphs, not just a chunk of your data. So you need to graph your data. You need to include pictures of the images to show what it is you're talking about. So this should be a very multimodal essay, and it should have headings. All of those need to exist in the final essay. So the draft will be the first one. You'll get feedback on the draft, and then you'll submit the final. So you get to make revisions, and you're not just one-shotting this final essay. There's also a reflection letter, and you can see that the questions are listed in the assignment sheet. So as you're going through this, if you have any questions, please send me a note on Tumblr or send me an email or let me know if you want to come to office hours, and I will see you on Zoom.